Again, welcome to Database System CS 630, Introduction to Database. This lectures cover chapter 1 of our course textbook. Our main objective is to go through different types of databases and also database applications, the basic definitions, also database management functionalities. We shall also discuss about the main characteristics of database approach and also their advantages. So we start with the types of databases and database application. Normally, traditional applications will be numeric and textual databases, where we store values and text messages. But most recent or more recent applications are multimedia database, where we can store media data such as graphics, images. Also, we have geographic information system, biological and genome database, that's mostly in the computational biology, bioinformatics, data warehouses, mobile databases such as our smartphone or any mobile devices, tablets, etc. Also, real-time and active databases, such as a stock market database system. So a numeric and textual database system, we say a database that provide numeric information such as statistics or demographic information. It's a numeric database system. Also, traditional textual database interfaces allow users to search an index composed of exclusively of terms extracted from documents. Now, a multimedia database is a collection of related for multimedia data. So multimedia data can be images or media data types, videos, etc. We also have a mobile databases, which is in mobile computing devices such as smartphones and personal digital assistants, also store and share data over a mobile network or a database which is actually stored by the mobile device. This could be a list of contacts, price information, distance traveled, or any other information. We also have geographical information system, which is a computer system for capturing, storing, checking, and displaying data related to positions on Earth's surface. Now, by relating similarly unrelated data, GIS can help individuals and organizations better understand spatial patterns and also relationships. Biological and genome databases can be again broadly classified into sequence, structure, and functional databases. So nucleic acid and protein sequences are stored in a sequence databases. For example, a nucleotide for DNA will be the AC and the 4 nucleotides, also protein concepts, protein sequence, AGTC for DNA. And then we also have the structure normally for protein, and structure databases to store a 3D structure of a protein or RNA. Then functional database normally will store the data about, let's say, the protein functions, etc., or DNA functions, etc. Now, human genomic database also are referred to as online repository of genomic variants, mainly described for a single or more genes or specifically for a population or ethnic group, aiming to facilitate diagnosis at DNA level, and also to correlate genomic variants with specific phenotypic patterns and clinical features. A data warehouse normally is where companies or business organizations store historical data for so many years. So most business organizations may have a regular database system for transaction, or we say transactional database, where they may have a policy that, okay, every month we may transfer our transaction database to our data warehouse. So data warehouse, we may have historical data for many years. And these data are very good for analytics, such as using data mining algorithm or machine learning algorithm to find a knowledge from that database system. So a data warehouse, again, It's a type of data management system that is designed to enable and support business intelligence activities, especially analytics. So data warehouses are solely intended to perform queries and also analysis, and often contain large amount of historical data. The data within a data warehouse is usually derived from a wide range of sources, such as application log files, transaction applications, etc. Also, a data warehouse centralizes and consolidates large amount of data from multiple sources. We also have the real-time database, which is a database that uses a real-time processing to handle workloads whose state is constantly changing. This differs from traditional databases containing persistent data, mostly unaffected by time. A very good example would be a stock market that changes very rapidly and dynamic in a real time. And the recent development is the social network, the internet, example, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and these organizations also have their own database system. So social networks start capturing a lot of information about people and about communications among people, posts, tweets, photos, videos in systems such as Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Search engines such as Google, Bing, Yahoo also collect their own repository of web pages for searching purposes. Now, new technologies are emerging from so-called non-database software vendors to manage vast amount of data generated on the web. A big data storage system involving large clusters of distributed computers. And non-SQL system, also a large amount of data now reside on the cloud, which means it is a huge data centers using thousands of machines. Again, the future lectures we shall go through this concept, especially the non-SQL. Now, these are some of the basic definitions in database management system. First, we start with what is a database. Again, it's a collection of related data. Example would be a customer database system or patient database, which means information about the patients or customers. Also, what is a data? Data will be a known facts that can be recorded and have an implicit meaning. Example would be a patient's last name or employee's salary rate. Meaning word means some part of the real world about which data is stored in a database. So example would be a student grade and transcript at a university. Then a database management system is the software or the application that we use to create or develop a database system and also manage and manipulate the data in the database system. So a software package system to facilitate the creation and maintenance of computerized database. A database system now will be the combination of a database software and the data itself. And this is what discusses about database system. How we can use the software to create our data, what tools we can use in the software, and how we can manage this data if stored in the database. Now, the impact of databases and database technology in businesses, for example, banking, insurance, retail, transportation, healthcare, manufacturing, these business organizations all use database system because any business operation, surely data will be generated and this data need to be stored somewhere. We also have service industries such as financial, real estate, legal, electronic commerce, small businesses also generate data. So they need database system to, again, store their data and manage it. Education resources for content and delivery. These resources also are stored in the database system. Most recently, again, example, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., social network, environmental and scientific applications such as medicine and genetics, personalized application based on smart mobile devices. Now, to simplify database system environment, normally we have 3 levels. The lower level is where our actual data is stored. So here we see store data definition, then the store database. In the future, we shall discuss about what is a metadata. Then we have the middle tab, which will be the database management software. We use it to create our environment and we store the data, we manage the data from there. User can only interact with the system from the application programs or queries. So we have database system, database management system, then there's physical storage. So a typical database management system functionality can be defining a particular database in terms of its data types, structures, and constraints. Again, our future lecture, we may discuss this more detail. Also to construct or load the initial database content on a secondary storage medium. Also manipulating the database, how to retrieve data using example query or generating reports. Also modifications, inserting data, deleting data, or update data in the database system. Accessing the database through a web application. Also processing and sharing by a set of concurrent users and application programs, yet keeping all data valid and consistent. So again, database technology make all this possible. Application activities against a database. Here we say applications interact with a database by generating queries that access different parts of a data and formulate a result of a request. A query normally will be a question that we ask the system. For example, we have a customer database system. We can write a query that we need all customers that came from New York State, or we need all the customers that spend more than $50, which means we have to write a query to get that result. We may have 1,000 customers, maybe only 5 spend more than $50. We don't want to go through the manually. So using a query is very quick. Also transactions that may read some data and update certain values or generate new data and store that in a database. Applications must not allow unauthorized users to access data. So that means application must allow only authorized users to access data. That's security. And also application must keep up with changing user requirements against the database. Additional database management system functionality, including protection or security measures to prevent unauthorized access. Also active processing to take internal actions on data. Presentation and visualization of data. Maintenance of the database and associated programs over the lifetime of the database application, also called the database or software or system application. So in summary, we went through different types of database, the definition of database applications, and also the typical functionality of a database management system. So again, this is chapter 1, part 1 of our lectures. In the future lectures, we may go through detail about the few items we went here. Thank you for your time.